Hi, welcome to Flavors of the Coast. I'm Irv Miller.
I'm Melia Allen, and today we're going crabbing, and then we'll discover the intricate art of picking crab by hand.
Blue crab is a staple not only along the Gulf Coast, but up through the entire eastern seaboard. Today's recipes focus on this delicious and plentiful crustacean, the blue crab. Stay with us for Flavors of the Coast.
Support for Flavors of the Coast is provided by Jansen Quality Construction, family-owned since 1997. Jansen Craftsmanship, Jansen Quality, Jansen Value. Jansen Quality Construction, remodeling specialists serving the Gulf Coast. The Canandaigua Wine Company, introducing fine wines from Covey Run and Columbia. Canandaigua, quality wines for the enjoyment of everyday life. ESP Natural Gas, your energy choice for warm, comfortable heat, endless hot water, and precise cooking. ESP Natural Gas, the natural choice. And by Kesco, your restaurant equipment source in Northwest Florida for more than 20 years, providing cooking and refrigeration equipment as well as design, layout, delivery, and installation services. Welcome to Flavors of the Coast, your ticket to the food, the flavor, and the fun of some of our favorite destinations from New Orleans to Tampa Bay. And now, here's award-winning executive chef Irv Miller.
From Alaska to Maryland to the Deep South, America is crazy for crab. Today we'll take a look at the plentiful blue crab by talking with a crab fisherman and visiting Maria's Seafood Company in Pensacola to get the lowdown on the seasonal and coveted soft-shell crab. I'll be making my fantastic crab, shrimp, and okra gumbo. Now let's join Melia as she goes fishing for crab.
Each day around sunrise, crabber Chuck Blanchard sets his traps close to shore. When he returns hours later, the harvest is usually good. He fishes for one thing, the succulent and plentiful blue crab.
Let's see, here's a few right here.
Look at these guys. Oh, wow.
Don't put your finger in there. Hand. Here, try that.
Let me see. Now, you can show me how to pick one up? Now, you got these out of your traps this morning?
Right, just a little while ago.
Yeah.
Here, let me show you this big one.
Oh, look, he's snapping at me.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, he's a big one. Oh, wow, look at that. Can I hold him?
yeah.
Now, tell me the process. You set the traps out in the morning?
We leave the traps out all the time.
Uh-huh.
We put the traps out in certain areas where we think the crab will be, and we go out and every morning, and it's usually at night when they're feeding, and then we go in the morning and run the traps, get the crabs out of them, put fresh bait in them, and put them back in the water again.
Now, how many crab do you normally catch in a day? What would be a good catch for you, Chuck?
I like a couple of boxes because that's about all I can handle, but some people like to go out and catch more, but I'm even satisfied with a full box and some more, which is about 100 pounds or 200 pounds.
And one of these boxes is about 100 pounds?
Yeah, pretty close.
Can I pick him up?
Sure.
All right. Well, this is a big one, huh? Now tell me how I tong him. Is this what you call a tong?
Yes.
Is this okay?
Yeah,
Here?
yeah, right.
Now just real carefully. Yeah!
Right. He's got you more than you've got him.
He does. I can see that. He's clasped onto me.
Yeah.
Now you told me earlier that this is a male.
Right.
And because it doesn't have the color, he does have me. I may give this back to
Well,
you.
you can tell under the bottom they don't have the apron like the females have, or the triangle
that
that
colored portion that's down here, right?
It's an apron. You can actually peel that apron back when you clean them sometimes.
Okay, now he's a real good size, huh?
That's a pretty good one.
Now he's marketable.
Right.
Okay.
That's what you would call in Louisiana a jumbo Jimmy.
A jumbo Jimmy. So you gonna let us taste one of these guys?
Yeah, bite into one of them.
All right, let's
Yeah.
take them back to the kitchen.
You want to steam them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Clean them and steam them, right?
All right, let's go. We've just come in off the docks with our crab, and we brought them to the back here at Maria's Seafood, and we're going to talk to Ray Boyer here at Maria's. And how are you, Ray?
I'm fine. How are you?
Now, we just brought this big box of crab to you.
Right.
Tell us what will happen to that crab when it comes to Maria's Seafood and how you process that to get it to be sold.
Well, first thing we do is go through them and take all the weaker crabs out that we know aren't going to make it, and we dress them. We either sell them that day or freeze them and put all the live ones in their own box and just sell them.
Now, tell me this. I know that crab meat is very popular, and there are just innumerable ways to prepare crab. Tell me all the different varieties of crab items that you sell.
Well, we've got all the different types of crab meat that come out of the blue crab. Of course,
Now, this is a blue crab, right?
That is a blue crab.
But
That
he's
is a
orange.
Yeah, well, he was already cooked.
Okay.
It's just like a lobster. When you cook a lobster, he turns red, and but he's actually like more of a greenish color when you first start him. Just like with the crabs, it's this color right here. When you cook them, they turn that color. We have the lump that comes out of the body, right by the legs. We don't have a jumbo lump out here. There's a jumbo lump that actually comes off the back swimmer part of the crab. The jumbo lump of the crab is located right in the back right here. It's a big old lump. All the lumps come out of where the legs come out of right there.
Okay, so you get all the lump crab meat out of the body.
Right on the side right there, out of where the legs are. The swimmer is the jumbo lump. Then all your dark meat, which is this right here, the claw meat, comes out of the arm of the crab and up into the claws. And if the claw isn't big enough to save, they'll put it in the claw meat, and or they'll just put it into the crab claws.
Oh, okay, so this is actually the crab.
That's actually crab
But
claw.
this would not be considered large enough to pull off as crab meat.
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
And sometimes while they're picking, sometimes the meat will fall off of it, and so they just put it into the claw meat.
Now, it seems to me that the crab is so versatile and there are many ways to prepare it, and you have brought out for us a soft shell crab. Now, like a lot of people, I thought that a soft shell crab was a different kind of crab, but it's really a blue crab.
Right.
Explain that to me, because I see this little guy here.
Well, about every month, the crabs will molt, and it's how they grow bigger is they have to pull out of their old hard shell, and they pull out of the back side, and they're vulnerable for probably about 3 to 4 hours until they can harden up and get about their business. And at that stage, they grow just a little bit bigger.
So that's how they grow. They actually come out of the smaller shell,
Right.
pull out, and then grow a larger shell.
Right.
And that takes, what, about 3 or 4 days?
About 3 or 4 hours for that shell to harden.
So how do you know which crab is about to molt, and what do you do with it?
A lot of the crabbers, they have like little things that they look for. And these little spots on the back right here by the legs,
Right, I
I'm
see
told
that.
is one of the things where that crab is ready to shed, ready to pull out of his shell.
And he's certain, this one is really soft, the whole.
Yes.
Yeah, that's soft all the way around. Now, I guess the nicer restaurants actually will buy these, and I've had soft shell crab prepared, and it's delicious.
Oh yeah, yeah, you can't beat it.
It's delicious. Well, what is your top seller?
Well, we sell quite a few live crabs. I mean, we probably go through almost 1,000 pounds a week of live crabs through here alone.
Wow. Mostly to restaurants or to individuals or
Oh,
both?
no, individuals.
That's incredible. Ray, thanks for spending time with us.
Thank you.
Now, at better seafood markets like Maria's, you're going to find a great variety of crab. You have steamed crab, live crab, crab claws, crab fingers, and even lump crab meat. And I can hardly wait to get back to the kitchen to see what Irv will do with this tasty crustacean.
Thanks, Melia, and thank you, Ray, for the beautiful blue crabs you sent my way. Now, I'm going to use them today in a gumbo that I'm going to make. And let's get started on the gumbo. A few things I wanted to tell you about a gumbo is you definitely don't want to be intimidated by trying to make one. You want to make one and you want to have fun while you're doing it. So I encourage everybody to try and make a gumbo, and I encourage you to do it your own way. Do it the way that you would like to do it. Just make it and have fun with it. I'm going to show you kind of an authentic way that we make gumbo. And what I need to do is start with a little bit of oil. Now we use peanut oil because peanut has a great flavor. Now I'm just going to bring the oil up. And I use oil because, once again, the flavor is great. You could use canola oil, you could use another oil, but peanut oil is kind of the traditional New Orleans oil that you use. It's not from New Orleans, but peanut oil is the oil. You need a little bit of all-purpose flour, and the way that an authentic roux for a gumbo is done, it's made into we call it a chocolate roux. Now the stages of a chocolate roux take about 20 minutes or so. So I suggest you put on your favorite CD and kick back and make a roux. You can make the roux in advance, and it goes like this, sort of like this. I'm going to bring the heat up just a little bit more. It should actually have like a simmer look to the oil, and you can see it almost has that now. But I'm going to add the oil in, the flour, excuse me, and start making the roux. Now, traditionally, when you make a roux, a light-colored roux or a white roux has the most thickening power. But there's other thickening agents to a roux, to a gumbo. There's okra and there's filet. And today we're going to use okra. So you can see this has come up to a little bit of a simmer. And the stages of this roux would be from a white roux to a blonde roux to a pale roux and to a light brown and a dark brown, and then eventually you would get to what we call a chocolate roux. Now the reason we do this with gumbo is to give the gumbo both color and flavor, a really nice nutty flavor. So this roux, if you hovered over it for about 15 or 20 minutes and you just turned it down low, and like I said, pop in a CD and have a good time, just stand here and you just have to stir it and just come up on the edges, and this takes about 15 to 20 minutes. So I'm not going to go through that whole process today, but I wanted to show you how easy it is. You really have to stay over it though, and you never want to splash yourself, because if you splash yourself, it's going to hurt and it will take your skin off. So at this point, I'm going to remove this and show you what a chocolate roux looks like. Now I chose to cook in cast iron. You could use enamel, but I think you can also use stainless steel. But if you're from Louisiana, you definitely want to use cast iron and or enamel. That's kind of traditional. Now, if you can see into this Dutch oven that I have here, you can see the beautiful color that this roux has gotten. And like I say, it took about 20 minutes actually hovering over it to get it to this stage. Now once it's to this stage, it already has a smell, a really nice nutty smell, and you don't want to let it burn. And there's a critical stage between the chocolate and burning a roux. So you have to stay right on top of it. And if indeed you're nervous that you have burned it, you definitely want to pour it out of this particular pot that you're making it in and transfer it into something else and make sure that it's not burned. Now I'm going to bring the heat up a little bit, and then I'm going to add, usually when you're making a soup you use a mirepoix, and a mirepoix is carrots, onions, and celery. But today we're using a trinity, and that's a traditional New Orleans type type mirepoix, and it entails onion, celery, and green bell peppers. And they're pretty religious about this, and they use this for a lot of New Orleans style, Louisiana style cookery. So once I have my roux nice and hot, I'm going to add my onions and my celery and also green peppers. And we're just going to stir that and coat these and let them cook for about maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And you're just trying to maximize the flavors of the trinity. And if you can see this, it's actually